seen the show, you get the gist. Lesser known lost media. Here we go.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Lesser Known Lost Media, episode 101. We did take a break, or to be fair, I kind of had decided that this series had ended at 100 episodes and we had kind of moved on to LKLM 2.0, where I was doing a more deeper dive focused on either more thematic or one single piece. But again, you guys voted and told me that you really wanted these 5 lists back. So we're not getting rid of LKLM 2.0 entirely, but we are going to also keep having these. It's just going to what I have time for, what ideas I have week to week. Now, if you are new to this channel, congratulations, you have 100 more episodes to listen to after this one. But how it works is we start with 4 family-friendly, safe-for-work pieces of lost media, take a brief break, and then end with a 5th, spicier piece. Let's begin. At number 1, we have Ang Panday, a partially found Filipino animated TV series based on the comic character from 1986. Now, Ang Panday is Ang Panday, I'm sorry, I don't speak, I don't know how it's pronounced, but it is a Filipino franchise derived from a comic character, Panday, created by Carlo J. Caparas. Throughout the years, several movies and series were made, and an animated TV series based on the comic/movie was created in 1986. It is dubbed to be the first Filipino animated series in television and directed by Gabby A. Garcia. It was broadcasted in RPN 9 every Friday at 8 p.m., and Fernando Poe Jr. and other characters reprised their roles in this series. It was said to be first aired on November 21st of 1986, and although it was really popular with Filipinos, it only lasted 6 months due to the high cost of making an animated series. It is also said that Fernando Poe Jr. would read every fan's name every episode. I don't really know what that means. I guess if you wrote in, who knows? So far, no full episodes have resurfaced. The promo aired on RPN 9 was uploaded by Jojo Balian in August of 2017 on Facebook, which was re-uploaded by Aspeter Smith, while the intro was also uploaded by OPM MTV Video in March of 2016. There are also episodes that are remembered by viewers. These names are Tikbalang, Singing Skeleton, and Dragonfly People. Though these are just fan recollections, we do not have any of them available. It is interesting that this one was not preserved better officially. I mean, I understand that in 1986, not everybody had a VCR that they could record on, but it was considered to be a very popular show. The thing that killed it was how expensive it was to make. So I would have thought the studio would have done a better job preserving and archiving it, but apparently that was not the case, which is too bad. Alright guys, coming in at number 2, we have The Adventures of Albert and Sydney, which is a partially found English dub of the Doraemon anime series, late 1980s to early 1990s. Now, we've talked about it on the channel before. Doraemon is a successful Japanese media franchise created by manga duo Fujiko Fujo. The property has inspired 3 separate anime series and countless films since 1973. It also inspired a series of cult stage plays, which is interesting. I think we covered that previously. Now, while the franchise has seen distribution in many countries, exposure in the English language world has been relatively limited. An English dub of the 1979 iteration called The Adventures of Albert and Sydney, produced by Canadian children's entertainment company Cinar, is believed to have only aired in Barbados in the late 1980s and early 1990s. The show aired Saturday mornings on CBC TV8 in the country. This dub has never been released on home video, nor have any full episodes surfaced online. Now, until recently, information on this production had been scarce. The first reported mention of the dub was by a Barbadian user on a forum called the TFP in 2004, who recalled part of the theme song. Other users online have also mentioned the dub, but few concrete details of the show, and no actual footage has surfaced online yet. It is also known that the signs weren't translated. Doraemon and Nobita were renamed Albert and Sydney, respectively. The spelling of Sydney's name is also still in doubt, but sources call him Sydney, spelled with a Y, but other sources use the spelling of Sydney as Sidney, though I believe if this title card that you're seeing now is accurate, then it's the I spelling. Now, according to the NATPE 1987 issue of Television Radio Age magazine, the dub was distributed by Cinar, a children's entertainment company based in Montreal, Quebec. Cinar was selling the show as 150 10-minute episodes. The English version was recorded in Montreal as the Canadian Radio, Television, and Telecommunications Commission approved the adventures of Albert and Sydney, again spelled with an I in this case, as Canadian content on June 6, 1986 under its dubbing category. Now, it is believed that they were producing this version of the show for broadcast in the United States on the TBS network, but as the channel had acquired the rights to 50 episodes of Doraemon in 1985, but ultimately never aired the show. Canadian musician Jerome Langlois, I don't know, it looks like Langlois, but I'm sure that's wrong, lists The Adventure of Albert and Sydney as a project he worked on, crediting the series to Cinar and Turner Broadcasting. The latter company's cold feet are similar to the reluctance it showed other Japanese properties it had acquired at the time, such as the Tokatsu series Ultra 7, which was also localized by Cinar for Turner, and it remained unaired in the United States for years. The same occurred with G-Force Guardians of Space. Now, in March of 2017, a Lost Media Wiki contributor contacted CBC to see if they had any information about the dub, but however, unfortunately, the channel had long since removed Albert and Sydney from its archive. More recently, in February of 2020, Twitter user Colin LW claimed to have found a 14-second clip of the dub. The clip was later posted on his Twitter and Tumblr, and later reposted to YouTube by Dorai Dora Michan's channel, which turned out to be a hoax, unfortunately. Now, in that same month of February 2020, Jerome, again, I don't know how to say it, Langlois, revealed that each episode was roughly 8 minutes. The theme song is original composition and not a translated version of the original Japanese theme. Other characters' names he remembered from the show are Buster, Ricky, and Lucy, whom are iterations of Gian, Sunyo, and Shizuka. He composed the entire ordered series done in a whole summer of 1985 and also possesses VHS copies of the 30-second theme song and 1 minute and 12 seconds from his work on the show. Despite his willingness to digitize them, scheduling and legal concerns have hindered that decision. Now later, that same year, in September, Jerome uploaded the footage from his tapes onto Google Drive, and it was later re-uploaded to YouTube and Vimeo by the Lost Media Warrior. The footage, again, this is where we get the confirmation that the spelling of Nobita's name is in fact Sydney with an I, and that Sunyo's name was changed to Ricky. The Google Drive link was later removed, but has been mirrored to OneDrive. Alright guys, so cards on the table, being someone from the English-speaking world, I know next to nothing about Doraemon. The most I've ever really looked into it have been the various Doraemon entries on this, on this channel, in this series. But again, it is clearly an absolutely massive, a massive media franchise with a massive fan base, and this is an obscure little piece that again, I would love to know. I understand that TBS was hesitant to air Japanese content, but how did it end up in Barbados? That alone, I would love to know. I would love to know the marketing and thought process behind that. But again, if you love a franchise, you want as much of it as you possibly can, the good and the bad. And I don't really know which one this would be considered, but I know Doraemon fans would want to find it all the same, and hopefully one day we will. Alright guys, at number 3 we have The Banana Splits, a partially found pilot for the cancelled Banana Splits reboot of 2016. Now, the Banana Splits Adventure Hour was a live-action animated hybrid series created by Hanna-Barbera Productions that originally aired on NBC from September 7th of 1968 to November 29th of 1969. The series is famed for its host, an animal band consisting of Fleagle the Beagle, Bingo the gorilla, Drooper the lion, and Snorky the elephant. The splits appeared in no animated segments of their own, and instead appeared in song and comedy sketches in between the show's segments. Now, after the show's cancellation, there have been many attempts by Warner Brothers to reboot the series, such as in 2016 when Warner Brothers teamed up with Christian Jacobs, best known for Yo Gabba Gabba and the Aquabat Super Show fame, to make a pilot of an attempted revival of the show. The filming for the pilot commenced from October 18, 2016 to October 22, 2016. A few days of the shooting of the pilot took place on location at Castle Park in Riverside, California. During the filming process, as well as the pre-production phases of the pilot, Parker Jacobs, an artist who worked on the pilot, teased the project multiple times through his daily doodles online. Now, the production companies involved with the reboot pilot are Awesome Forces, which was founded by Christian Jacobs and his collaborator Jason DeVilliers, and Escalante Pictures, Joe Escalante's production company. Joe also worked on the pilot as both a writer and producer. Now, Cuchillo Lope, a gaffer on the pilot, mentioned how it was stated to be super fun and stayed true to capture the spirit of the original Banana Split show, but was also perfect for today's kids. Warner Bros. Loved the pilot that was made, saying it was probably better than the original show. However, despite all this being completed, they decided not to go through and ultimately shelved the pilot. Multiple crew members were disappointed at this decision due to the hard work that was put into production. Now, very little material has surfaced of the pilot. Currently, the only known available footage is a 7-second clip as part of the 2017 Awesome Forces production reel on Vimeo. In 2022, Christian Jacobs, one of the makers involved in the pilot, uploaded an 8-second behind-the-scenes clip from the on-location shoot at Castle Park on his Instagram. However, the post, as well as Christian's Instagram, has been set to private, but the clip can still be found on Twitter. Another behind-the-scenes clip for the Castle Park shoot was uploaded to Instagram by Catherine Dunn Seswick, on the day of the shoot back in 2016. Now, I'll be honest, until they came out with that horror movie they made where it was essentially a Five Nights at Freddy's parody or knockoff, depending on how you want to look at it, I was vaguely aware that the banana splits were a thing, but I knew nothing about them. But it definitely seems that Warner Brothers sees that there is a marketability to these characters, and it's just struggled to find a way to market and monetize them correctly. But hopefully they figure it out, because I feel like it is definitely the right time for something like the banana splits to become popular again. Alright guys, at number 4 we have Barbapapa. Barbapapa? Why do I do this to myself? Why do I pick so many things from different languages? Barbapapa, a partially found English dubs for a French animated series circa 1975 all the way to 2006. So Barbapapa is both the title character and the name of the species of said character of a series of children's books written in the 1970s by Annette Thiessen and Tallis Taylor, who resided in Paris, France. The books were originally written in French and were later translated into over 30 languages. Barbapapa is a pink blob-like creature who can shapeshift. His name comes from the French barba à papa, literally daddy's beard, the French term for cotton candy or candy floss. Gross. He has a wife and kids who are also shape-shifting blob-like creatures of various colors. The character was later adapted into an animated series which was dubbed in English a total of 5 times. Now, the first English dub was made in the UK and aired on BBC One from 1975 to 1979. It was narrated by Michael Flanders. This dub remains completely lost. A second English dub was made in the United States, and it was commissioned by LBS Communications and produced by Magno Sound in video and aired in syndication from 1977 to 1983. DVDs with re-encoded VHS recordings of this English dub were at one point sold on iOffer. One of these was bought, and its rips were donated by Mr. Leap in July of 2017. A third English dub was made in Canada and aired on TV Ontario from 1977 to 1985 and Knowledge Network from 1985 to 1987, and on Knowledge Kids from 1985 to 1987 as well. This dub was based on the UK English dub and used the same British vocals for the theme and other songs, but redubbed dialogue with Canadian voice actors. In June of 2017, an hour of Barbapapa cartoons from the Canadian English dub was found. Most of them are ones that are on the second VHS/Betamax volume released in the UK. However, a couple of the episodes are different. The first volume was later found and donated by Mr. Leap in January of 2021. The Precert video website refers to it as the Americanized version, despite it not being the dub that aired in the US. Now, a fourth English dub was released in South Africa on 6 VHS volumes in 1990 and in Japan by Aniplex Sony Music Entertainment on 5 VHSs and DVD volumes in 2001. This dub was a straight-to-video dub made to teach Japanese children English. Oh, kind of like we had Muzzy to learn French. Unlike the previous dubs, all songs, including the intro, remain instrumental. This dub appears to use the Canadian English dub as source material, despite most of the dialogue being different. As part of the first episode, still has the Canadian dubbing track. All 5 volumes of this dub were ripped and donated by Mr. Leap in January of 2021. The DVDs also contain Japanese and French language tracks. Again, I'm getting Muzzy vibes. A 5th English dub was made in the United States in 2006 by Centauro and released in South Korea on 2 DVD sets, each containing 10 discs. Like the Japanese English dub, it was a straight-to-video dub released to teach Korean kids English. The first 45 episodes have one voice actor for everyone, and the scripts are a mixture of the Canadian English dub, Japanese English dub, and some original dialogue. They also dubbed the songs with most of the same lyrics as the UK and Canadian dub. For episodes 46 through 100, the characters have individual voice actors. These voices were also used for Centauro's dub of the Japanese spin-off series Barbapapa Around the World, which was included on the second DVD set. This DVD set was also bought and ripped by Mr. Leap in February 2021. Now, I want to, before I talk more about how I feel about this, I want to say big shout out to Mr. Leap, whoever you are. It seems like you are almost single-handedly responsible for recovering what we have of this series. So kudos to you, my good friend. But this one's really cool. A children's book. I still think that the French people calling cotton candy daddy's beard is weird, but not the point here. But this children's book that was translated, it was turned into a way to teach children English. Very cool concept, guys. Again, I went to a school for elementary schools, a private school where we were all required to learn French. One of the tools they used was a tape series called Muzzy, and we loved Muzzy. We looked forward to Muzzy days. So I imagine children in other countries were in their English class were looking forward to Barbapapa Day, and that's really cool. Alright guys, again, gonna get to that spicy piece here in just a second, but again, I want to beseech you, like, comment, subscribe, consider becoming a Patreon patron, a YouTube channel member, consider going to eBay, purchasing one of my minis, or to DriveThruRPG and checking out my Call of Cthulhu scenarios. Again, anything you can do to help support the channel, biggest thing you can do, watch the videos, share with your friends, help this channel grow. We're still trying to reach our goal of 2,000 subscribers, and we've hit some setbacks, but with your help, we can still make that goal by the end of the year. And with that being said, let's get to today's spicy piece. Okay guys, today's spicy piece, number 5, Harold and Kumar, the animated series, a partially found Adult Swim pilot of a canceled TV adaptation of the film trilogy from 2011 to 2015. Now, Harold Lee, played by John Cho, and Kumar Patel, played by Kal Penn, are the titular characters of the 2004 Buddy Stoner comedy film Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. This film, directed by Danny Leaner and written by John Hurwitz and Hayden Schlossberg. Now, this film would go on to receive massive positive critics and audience reactions, and it was a massive commercial success. It would be the start of the Harold and Kumar franchise that would spawn 2 other films, Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay in 2008, and the 2011 film titled A Very Harold and Kumar Christmas. Now, in 2011, while the third movie was being released, there was word that an animated series of Harold and Kumar was being worked on and being pitched to various networks. Now, in May of 2012, the adult-oriented animation cable channel Adult Swim greenlit and unveiled 7 pilots for its catalog, one of which was an untitled animated Harold and Kumar project that was to be produced by Lionsgate, with actors John Cho and Kal Penn reprising their roles as Harold Lee and Kumar Patel, this time as an animation. The animated series was animated by Bento Box Entertainment, which does have footage of the show in their demo reel. Now, so what happened? We never got this show. Well, the Lost Media Wiki user Normie Dude contacted editor Amy Blaisdell, who confirmed that the pilot is the only episode that they ever produced. According to Blaisdell, the pilot is a direct reference and spoof of the 2004 ABC survival mystery drama series Lost, and in this, both Harold and Kumar are in a plane crash, land on a mysterious island, and try to get back to their destination. Now, the spicy part of this is that the pilot had 3 versions. However, the difference between them were that what was censored, to which degree various genitals and nudity were either pixelated, blurred out, or completely uncensored. And Blaisdell has since confirmed that these pilots are currently held by Bento Box Entertainment. What we know of the production is that on July 10th of 2014, several cast members posted pictures of various materials for the animated series on their respective social media accounts. Actor Kal Penn posted pictures which would reveal the series title, Harold and Kumar, the Animated Series, and would also post pictures of what the characters of Harold and Kumar would look like in this series. Another actor confirmed to be in the series, Gary Anthony Williams, posted a picture of the whole cast for the animated series, which confirms the involvement of actors Kerry Walgren and Jess Harnell. Another actress, Paula Graces, and John Hurwitz, one of the prominent writers of the trilogy, confirmed their involvement when they posted pictures on their respective Twitter accounts of posters for the table read, that happened. So it seems like a lot of this, had been developed. A lot of stuff was going on, but why don't we have it? Well, throughout the following years, the series never aired on Adult Swim and was quietly canceled for as far as we can tell. No official reason was ever given. A few Twitter users have expressed interest in the pilot after Kal Penn posted a snippet of it on his Instagram in 2015, but the snippet has since been deleted. But unfortunately, it was archived by fans and can still be found around the internet. Just so a note, this snippet does contain uncensored female genitals, so keep that in mind before watching the said video. Now, on January 27th of 2023, Twitter user FullCal03 found footage from the show that was included in Bento Box's 2016 demo reel, though it is unclear if the footage in it is included in the pilot for the show. These 2 videos are the only known snippets of the pilot. The full pilot has still not been made available to this day. We did find some storyboard panels in 2024 and 2 short animatics for the pilot from the storyboard artist Paul C. Lee, who did work on the storyboards. And in July of this year, so when this is being recorded, this was about 15 days ago, YouTube user Normie Dude uploaded a video in which they stated that someone who had worked on the show provided them with a synopsis of what happens in the pilot. Sorry guys, this one was hard to read. The article on the Lost Media Wiki that I was getting my information from was written very strangely, so I was kind of having to figure out how best to word it, but I hope this all came across. I love the original Harold and Kumar movie. It was definitely a series of diminishing returns, but ultimately I do think that much like the later films, this ended up not being made, probably because it just turned out not to be very good. I also know that for a while, Kal Penn had gotten out of acting. I don't remember the exact time for that, but he was working for the Obama administration, so he might have not been fully available or able to commit. Who knows? But, I'm sure Harold and Kumar fans would have loved to have had access to this full pilot. And that's the video, guys. Thank you for joining me as we once again return to what made this channel successful in the originally, the lesser known Lost Media 5 list videos. We're going to be doing more of these, and here's to the next 100. Please like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, have a great day and an even beta tomorrow. Bye-bye.